People die from this every day.
Some of the worst dealers in the metro pushing deadly drugs like fentanyl.
This is the one drug that has come on scene that truly terrifies me.
But walking out of courts essentially scot-free.
We arrest the same people over and over. They need to be locked up and they need to atone for what they've done.
Police are fed up, the Attorney General dismayed, and a father who lost 2 sons furious.
That is, to me, it's cold-blooded murder.
Tonight, Denver 7 investigates the data, and a hidden camera investigation looks deeper into the fentanyl crisis in our community.
Consider these numbers. State records show more than 1,500 Coloradans overdosed on drugs last year. Nearly half of those deaths attributed to fentanyl. Tonight, we are digging deeper into why drug dealers are able to walk out with little consequence.
Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski.
It ruins people.
You're hearing the voice
It ruins families.
of a veteran undercover cop.
It ruins lives.
A voice of frustration so significant he's compelled to speak out.
Hundreds and hundreds of people in the city and county of Denver have died.
In silhouette, his voice digitized to protect his undercover identity. He's reacting to new data uncovered by Denver 7, reacting to what we found in the courts, and reacting to what our hidden cameras found at one of Denver's most iconic locations.
It's ruining our city. It's ruining our state.
The sounds and beauty of Union Station contrasted by what our hidden cameras recorded. Experts tell us those images, aluminum foil, flames, inhaling through a tube, most often that's how fentanyl users ingest the drug. Make no mistake, it didn't take long for us to capture this video. It's right out in the open, virtually every single day.
I've seen entire families completely torn apart.
It's definitely, Tony, the worst day of my life.
In one day, Matt Riviere lost his 2 sons to fentanyl.
At 2 a.m., I got a bang on my door. She had told me that both the boys had just passed away.
Andrew was 21. Stephen was 19. 2 decisions, 2 pills, 1 tragic ending.
Yeah, that it was fentanyl, that it was a counterfeit drug, that they thought they were doing hydrocodone or oxycodone.
When you see our data analysis, how do you react?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that that many people are being able to escape the system and not be held accountable.
He's reacting to these numbers, data gathered by Denver 7 using the state's open records law.
It's awful. This is broken. It's not just about me. I lost both my boys, and I have to live with that pain and that suffering.
The data shows in all of last year in Denver alone, 1,298 arrests for serious drug offenses like selling fentanyl. Nearly 70% of those accused drug dealers went to court, and judges let them get out of jail free, issuing a personal recognizance or PR bond, allowing them to walk out of the courtroom without any monetary guarantee, nothing more than a promise to return to court.
Mr. Gonzalez-Pena has failed to appear.
Undercover cops in Denver arrested Martin Gonzalez-Pena on multiple serious drug dealing charges, including significant amounts of fentanyl and heroin. He didn't show up in court after getting a PR bond.
Failed to appear.
Our data dig discovered Gonzalez-Pena was not the only accused drug dealer who failed to appear in court last year. Take a look. In Denver alone, 45% of all accused serious drug offenders failed to appear after a judge granted a PR bond.
Failed to appear.
After they promised to return to face their charges.
Mr. Fernandez was ordered to appear for a second advisement at 9 a.m. this morning in courtroom 2300. It's now 11:03 a.m. Mr. Fernandez has failed to appear.
Records show that accused drug dealer was arrested by undercover Denver police with a loaded firearm, wanted on warrants, and he was carrying 20,000 fentanyl pills. A judge forced him to pay only $1,000 in bond money. And yes, he also failed to appear.
Mr. Fernandez has failed to appear.
We had the opportunity to take one of the highest level dealers in the city of Denver and keep them locked up so that they can't sell fentanyl, so more people don't die?
This undercover cop risked his life to help make that arrest.
They didn't even put an ankle monitor on this guy. I'm sure he's out there right now selling fentanyl. They failed to do their jobs.
Ultimately, it's the ugly side of a beautiful city.
Failed to appear.
And it's something city and state leaders have to confront. Is this acceptable? The answers are crystal clear to many.
Because for God's sake, somebody has to do something now. People have to say enough is enough. We're not going to allow judges and politicians to do this to us anymore.
So Stephen is on the left and Andrew's on the right.
The answers for a dad who lives daily with the pain of what might have been are filled with both frustration and anger.
We're letting these murderers, in many cases, go. It's absolutely wrong. Yeah, these are some of my favorite photos of them being older, for sure.
Matt Riviere doesn't know who sold his boys the fentanyl, but he says he will fight with every ounce of his being to keep them off the streets if they are ever arrested. No other parent, he says, should have to live through this hell.
I have a picture of the boys by a lamp that I turn on every morning. And I sometimes literally shake my head and I look at that picture like, this can't be true.
And that painful reality is why Matt labels his son's unknown drug dealers as murderers. We wanted to share the numbers and the data we uncovered with Denver District Attorney Beth McCann. We were told she is out of the office and unavailable. We do plan on following up with that request. And one final point for you. Both Governor Polis and Attorney General Weiser have recently called on lawmakers to revisit the issues and penalties surrounding fentanyl. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski.
Well, after a week-long break, snow will soon be returning to the metro.
Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson tracking this latest round of winter weather heading this way. Mike?
Hey, you guys, typical of Colorado weather. We're in the 60s today, and it's still very mild out there right now, still 47 degrees out at DIA. There's a cold front coming our way from the north that will arrive here early tomorrow morning. Currently, no precipitation falling in the state, but you head up to the north of us. There's the front pushing down across Wyoming. The snow follows it a few hours later, and this should arrive in the morning tomorrow with the snow coming shortly after lunch. So, cold front early in the day, snow develops in the afternoon. Snow ending early Saturday morning, and the heaviest of the snow will be on the south and west side of Denver, up into the foothills and toward the Continental Divide. I'll zero down to your neighborhood and show you how much to expect coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you, Mike.
Mike.
Concerning incidents inside Aurora Public Schools, Denver 7 has learned a middle school student could face charges for her role in a fight that left a classmate injured.
Today, Denver 7 CB Cotton talked with the injured student's mother and found out fights at Aurora schools this year have reached alarming numbers.
Break it up. A fight in the girls' bathroom at Mirachek Middle School. Lethe Seltzer says her daughter was there and her daughter was hurt.
Just thinking about it makes me want to cry. I'm sorry.
Video of the November incident involving Seltzer's 14-year-old daughter was turned over as evidence to Aurora police. Denver 7 has chosen not to show you the video because of the minors involved. However, in it, you can see and hear Seltzer's daughter being struck from behind. According to a report from Aurora police, an investigation was opened shortly after the fight happened. And a report from last week says the juvenile who hit Seltzer's daughter will be issued a municipal summons for assault and battery.
Words are one thing, but once you put your hands on someone else, that's a whole nother thing. That's crossing a line.
Seltzer says her daughter was diagnosed with a closed head injury after the fight.
I was up to 7 different parents that have gone through the same thing.
According to a public records request filed by Denver 7 within the Aurora Public Schools district, a total of 902 incidents have been recorded as third-degree assault or disorderly conduct from August 1st of last year through January 4th of this year.
What are they doing about it? What are the schools doing to protect our children?
In a statement to Denver 7, Aurora Public Schools said they're seeing increases in behavioral incidents and trying to combat it.
So while we don't have great data nationwide, anecdotally, school administrators are reporting more of this.
Jenna Doom of DU's psychology department says pandemic-related stressors are thought to be a contributing factor.
Students do seem to be very traumatized by the past year, and it's been really hard to support them.
Whatever the cause, Seltzer says she feels the district can do more, and she'll continue speaking out about it.
I want parents to really think about, and talk to their kids, is this going on in your school, and help raise awareness, because I know I'm not the only parent.
In an email sent to parents of Moracheck middle schoolers back in December, the school said social media had become the problem, with students posting videos of each other engaging in fights on campus to various Instagram pages. The school says they've worked to get those pages taken down. Back to you.
CB Cotton tonight. Authorities in Arapahoe County right now are looking for a missing endangered adult. His name's Faustin Havagamana, last seen about 2 o'clock this afternoon near Lois Lenski Elementary in Centennial. He is from Rwanda. He does not speak English. Anyone who sees him should call the Sheriff's Dispatch Center there at the number on your screen.
Tonight, we're getting new insight into the resignation of a Douglas County school official. Special Education Services Officer Sid Rundle resigned on Saturday, one day after the school board's conservative majority voted to fire Superintendent Corey Wise, citing his leadership style and relationship with the other board members. Now, Denver 7 has obtained Rundle's resignation letter, and in it, he blasts the board members who voted to oust Wise, writing, "Last night, they revealed much about themselves and their intentions that I find deeply and incompatible. And despite their propaganda," he writes, "they do not value loyalty, hard work, dedication, relationships, decency, humility, or integrity. Instead," he goes on to say, "they showed themselves to be firmly yoked to political influence, arrogant ideology, and a disdain for due process." Denver 7 reached out to Rundle. He declined comment. His last day with the district will be next Friday. We also reached out to School Board President Mike Peterson, but have not heard back. And we should point out that none of the board's majority members have talked with any of the local news stations since they fired Wise. They did appear on Fox News.
Well, tomorrow is going to be the last day masks will be required in Jeffco Public Schools. The district today said their mask mandate will end midnight Friday, a week earlier than planned. However, the district added that masks, quote, are still highly encouraged. This brings the school district in line with ending the county-wide mask order. Masks will still be required on school buses per federal law.
A special gift coming for kids in one Colorado community.
It's gonna be like Christmas Day tomorrow.
After the break, a behind-the-scenes look as this effort all comes together.
Headed to Canton, 2 stars with deep Colorado ties, now set to be enshrined to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.